Greetings ladies and gents, and welcome to this patch video for Thief Lord taken from the website Royal Road. In this video we'll be doing chapters 63 and 64, and as always I hope that you enjoy, and if you do please consider subscribing. Chapter 63, Shady Business. Turns out the fence was a better addition to my crew than I thought. Sure, interacting with him isn't very fruitful, considering the guy is a mute at the best of my underlings, but he is also fairly autonomous. The little dwarven fence wasted little time in annexing the small storage room in my hideout and started cataloguing all the various items within. Fences are pretty straightforward when it all comes down to it. It's one of the only units in the game that can handle and safely sell items marked as contraband. The process is lengthy, and he can only sell on them through roughly a fifth of the item's market value, but it's a steady income for me nonetheless. After the past week, I've accumulated quite a hefty amount of items, most of which I have no use for. I have a couple sets of heavy armor and weapons my underlings can't use, as well as a small mountain of crafting regions for professions I either have no need for or are unable to learn. Selling these items should net me a decent profit, and I have enough items to keep him occupied for at least a week or two. I also consider selling my collection of random paintings, but I guess I can hold on to them for a while. It's not like my fence is lacking work at the moment, and it would be nice to see if gathering them all would grant me some sort of hidden reward. I pick up a painting on the roughly half my jobs, so I'm starting to get quite the collection. I probably won't complete it anytime soon, but I guess it's nice to have a little side project. Anyways, it's time for me to take a more proactive role in the development going forward. I have gained a tremendous amount of power over the last few days, and it's about time that I use it for what it's worth. I'm not sure whoever's pursuing me has given up yet, so I should probably see if I can get Anna to spill some information. I'm being a jerk, exploiting her friendship like this, and I'm getting slightly worried that I don't seem to care about it as much as I used to. The information is worth its weight in gold, however, and I would be foolish not to grab the opportunity if it presented itself. Today is also the day my family finally has their capsules up and running. I can't say that I'm exactly thrilled about it, but I've spent these last few days trying to come up with ways to keep them out of my business, while also performing tasks that are beneficial to my cause. That's for later tonight, though. First of all, I want to head out and find out what the Silver Saint wants with me. I can smell the start of a burgeoning quest looming, but I should also be prepared in case the trap is some kind. It probably isn't, but weirder things have happened before. Like anything that has Anna's name on it. A new problem that has revealed itself when I recruited a whole bunch of new underlings is that it's much harder to hide 14 underlings moving around in the city's back alleys than it's moved to 8. There just isn't enough room for stealth or subtlety. Bringing all of them is sadly out of the question, but it's not much of a problem yet anyway. 3 of my underlings are still level 1, and 3 of my spotters are still a little way off reaching max level. I could always bring them, but I'm probably better off keeping them back for now. It won't be long until they catch up anyway, as my mentor skill has also risen quite well over the last few days. I end up bringing both my lieutenants along with 2 half-orcs, a cutthroat, and both veteran prowlers. I don't really expect any trouble, but I have faith that they will be enough to delay anyone trying to pull something. I'm also a little worried about whoever pursues me, so I'll head over to Ulf's shop on my own, putting all my trust in the Thief Lord's signet ring. The trip is uneventful, and I soon find myself in the street in Ulf's store. The windows seem to be boarded up, and I can see the candlelight flickering from within. Something's definitely home. I surround the building and have my thugs take up a position close to the outer wall as possible to make certain that I have a way out with my doppelganger ability, if the need should arise. I decide to bring my 2 lieutenants along inside, because why not? A gang leader is supposed to bring some muscle in secret meetings with criminal organizers after all. I think that it's only in the manual. Yep, the Thief Lord's Guide to being a theft and butchery. I don't see much reason to delay any further, so I have Cobra take point and knock on the door. He slams his fist on the door 3 times, and a loud thumps echo down the deserted streets. Geez, how very subtle for the thief. I hear someone rummaging around in the other side, pressing against the door. "Who's out there?" a familiar gruff voice asks. "Alf, it's me. Open up." "That you, boy? Blasted dimwit, you want the entire city to hear. Get your ass in here." He wheezes as he unlocks the door, quickly shooing us inside. We soon find ourselves in the dimly lit store. Alf bolts the door shut, cursing a long series of expletives as he does. Expecting something to happen eventually, I stand still and wait for the shopkeeper to finish doing whatever spiel he has going on. Old people seldom enjoy it when you try to rush them. When Alf finally seems satisfied that no one is following us, or whatever else he's looking for, he turns around with a scowl on his face. "Come along then, boy," he grunts as he stomps towards his counter. "Come along? Where?" I decide to not ask as the grumpy dwarf dives behind his counter and appears to fiddle with some boxes. A soft click sound, and I jump back in surprise as a segment of the floor towards the back corner of the building seems to sink into the ground. Looking towards it, I can spot the top part of the ladder attached to the opening. Oh yeah, now we're talking super secret spy stuff. Love it. Now get your ass in there, boy. We don't have all night. He grunts as he makes shooing motions towards me. Can't say I particularly enjoy heading into the unknown basement that probably leads to God knows where. I especially don't like the most likely will bring me out of range of my emergency escape thugs outside. But something tells me I'll be just fine. For some odd and inexplicable reason, having access to a hidden NPC network seems natural to the game when you think about it. I would estimate the chance of being in an ambush to be less than 10% according to game logic. Even then, I don't expect it to be too insurmountable. I'll have my 2 lieutenants with me, and I sincerely doubt Alf would have liked me bringing nearly 24 men with me to the meeting. With a shrug, I order Cobra to once more take the lead. The ladder leads to a surprisingly spacious basement, stacked on the roof of crates and barrels in various sizes. Considering how well hidden this place is, I assume this is where Alf stores the majority of his contraband. I wonder if it's possible for me to steal any of this. Perhaps I'll scout it out at some point. As soon as Viper drops into the room behind me, the hatch shuts closed above us. I frown. This better not be a trap, I mutter. No sooner have I started thinking about ways to rob him blind and bust out of here before I hear another clicking sound and the back wall. Turning towards it, I see another hidden panel swinging outwards. Whoa, a hidden path within a hidden room. That's pretty hardcore. The panel reveals a well-lit corridor that leads roughly 10 meters deeper before it turns sharply to the right. Wherever it leads, it's definitely out of Alf's shop. There is no need to stop now, I suppose. So Cobra once more takes point down the corridor, and I follow at a safe distance, and as soon as we're across the bend in the tunnel, I start hearing voices coming from somewhere close. Since I assume whoever is down here knows we're coming, I abandon all thoughts of stealth and set a determined pace forwards. The tunnel leads in another basement in the adjacent building. We didn't walk far enough for me to not make a rough estimate of where we are. But I doubt this short tunnel is anything but a very small part of the operation. It's most likely meant as a quick escape route for Alf. This basement seems to be equally stacked with various crates, albeit far less than the previous room. A couple of lightly armed thugs waits by the ladder, most likely the source of the voices I heard. At least, I know that they don't belong to another villain, considering that these guys are nothing but mute. With a grunt, one of the thugs climbs up a few steps up the ladder before he knocks on the hatch 3 times, followed by a short pause and then twice more. Some shuffling and heavy objects can be heard from the above before the hatch swings open, revealing a familiar face. "Odin, the hell are you doing here?" I ask, surprised. He snorts. "What do you think? My job." "No crap, Sherlock. I mean, if you wanted to talk to me, couldn't we have just done so at your shop? Because I don't fancy anyone listening in on what we're about to discuss. Now get your lazy rear out of there. We don't have all night," he says, adding an unintelligible curse at the end. Who the hell are we, though? I climb up the first time as I'm certain it isn't a trap. If Odin really wanted me dead, he wouldn't have had to lure me all the way out here to do me in. His level is at least a triple digits after all. Even if he's a crafter by trade, I have no doubt that he could kill me by strength of his pinky finger if he wished to do so. I poke my head through the hatch, and I'm surprised to see that I find myself in a very ordinary living room. The place is cleared of dust, but the furniture is by no means luxurious. If I would have to guess, I would say that this house belonged to a retired elderly couple living on minimum savings. Very inconspicuous, which means it's probably perfect for conducting shady business. Looking around, I notice Odin has taken a seat at a large oaken table with the matching padded armchairs. The table houses 2 other people, one of whom I've seen before. "Joe, you too," he snorts, spitting on the floor. "We meet again, brat." "We do. Glad to see you again, Joe. I appreciate you introducing me to the Saints. The fences have been a great boon to me." I smile while he just grunts in return. Joe was the first member of the Silver Saints that I met all the way back when I first started playing. He is the innkeeper of the newbie zone and the person who gave me the Silver Saints token after he saw me trick Anna and Bryan for the first time. I can't say that I was expecting to see him again, and I'm not really expecting a hearty reunion. If anything, the guy acted like a grumpy dick when I first met him, and I doubt anything has changed. The last member at the table is a gorgeous woman dressed in a dark purple dress and excessive amount of pearls. The woman won't exactly win any stealth wars with the amount of noise the pearls would make as she moves around, but she seems to be a woman who has enough henchmen to do the sneaking for her. Her brown hair is tied up in a strict bun, giving her the gypsy librarian look that I'm not sure anyone else could pull off. She sits in the middle of the trio, so she appears to hold more status than the other 2. Impressive, considering Odin's Grand Master title. Human Grand Master Enchantress Lucilla, unknown level, HP unknown out of unknown, MP unknown out of unknown. Okay, maybe not surprising after all. "So you're the new troublemaker I've heard so much about," she says with a sweet smile, leaning back in her padded chair. A satisfied smile crosses her lips as she gives me an appraising look. "I don't think I've had cause too much trouble yet," I say, returning her smile. "Oh, more than you know," she says sagely, gesturing for me to take a seat opposite them. I comply and try to sit as gracefully as possible. I'm meeting powerful people after all. I wouldn't want to annoy the people who might end up paying me later. Cobra and Viper move behind, taking up flanking positions. All the good that will do if this meeting turns violent. Seeing that I'm seated comfortably, the woman continues. "I'm Lucilla, by the way, current chairman of the Saints Inner Council. It's a pleasure to meet you, Thief Lord." "Pleasure is all mine," I say, bowing my head curtly. "Since you've already met Odin and Joe here, I guess we can jump straight to the point. You may wonder why we're called this meeting." She leans forward, burrowing her eyes into mine, most likely gauging my reaction. A test of some sort. I have my suspicions, but it's probably best that you say it out loud to avoid any misunderstandings. I say, lying through my teeth. I don't have the foggiest idea of why I might be here. Getting some sort of reward, I hope. "You're a good liar, little thief lord," she chuckles, giving me a small wink. Crap, she called me on it. Is this an NPC anti-lying skill that the elf told me about earlier? God, I want one. Well, I find it absolutely adorable. I must insist that you be honest for the remainder of our meeting. Our time is too valuable to waste on such a, cute distraction. She winks at me. "Apologies, my lady," I say, a bit sweeter than intended. Lying appears to have become a bit too natural for me after I took up this profession. I completely forgot about the native's ability to sense my lies. She chuckles. It's a good skill to have, especially for someone in our line of work. But I digress. Talking about the fine art of deception, as intriguing as it is not why we called you here tonight. She intensifies her stare. I maintain my easygoing smile, gesturing for her to continue. As you may know, times are changing around the city with a lot of new forces coming into play. Troublesome forces, considering our line of profession. Trouble such as you and the others of your kind. As a result of this, our organization has suffered quite a few setbacks of late. Setbacks that are not economically sustainable for us. You see, our organization is all about maximizing profits while providing our clientele with goods that some others may, frown upon. It's a necessary service to provide, and I see no reason why people's personal liberties should be restricted because of moralists insisting on forcing their values and beliefs upon everyone else. Her eyes start to wander, seemingly lost in thoughts. It's only until Odin jabs her with his elbow that she wakes. Pardon my digression. The reason why we exist is probably of no interest to a man such as yourself. The reason we have called you here is simple: to survive and thrive in this new society that has been forced upon us. We need to adapt and evolve. When conventional means fail, we have to get creative. Luckily for us, not all travels follow the moral code forced upon us by those pesky laws. Travelers like you, my fellow colleagues, tell me that your ruthless actions across the city to gain money and power are at a absurd rate, an ideal that we can certainly sympathize with. You have also shown a willingness to cooperate with us for mutual gain when you disposed of those pesky, disgraced noble. Good job on that, by the way. He may not have been the greatest threat to our operation, but it's more important to remove an infection early or else it festers. So, you want to form an alliance? I asked, raising an eyebrow. She smiles. In short, yes. We want to form a mutually beneficial partnership with you and the others of your kind. We believe that with our resources, with your large potential for growing your power and influence, we can both prosper. What do you say, little thief lord? Do you want to work together? Now it's my turn to smile, if the terms are acceptable. End of chapter. Chapter 64. Infamy. Odin bursts out laughing. Cheeky kid, you're finally acting like you have a sack. I knew you had to have something down there somewhere. Lucilla lets out a small smile of her own, and I can swear even Joe's lips twitch slightly. I could be wrong, though. I can figuratively smell the opportunity here, and I want to get as many benefits from them as I can possibly get. So, little thief lord, what are your terms? Lucilla eventually asks, still smiling. That depends on what you can offer, really. I'm fairly new to the city, so I can't say that I know much about your organization. How about you tell me what you can offer, and we'll negotiate on what I need. Ha! Give this one the finger, and you'll take the whole hand. Odin chuckles. Better be careful with this one, Lucilla. He might be greedier than even you. We'll see about that, she says, leaning forward in a chair. Let's do it your way, little thief lord. As I mentioned earlier, our influence stretches pretty far within the bounds of the city. With our blessing, we can assist in building up your infamy and grant a legitimacy to you if you decide to establish your crew into a full-blown gang. A gang? What do you mean? What the hell? What do you don't know? How odd. She scratches her chin. A gang is a formal recognition of you and your crew's accomplishments. What good is being a leader of a gang if no one knows who you are, and thus won't show you the proper amount of respect you deserve? If you wish to have our assistance in forming a gang, we will help you in increasing your infamy. The greater level of infamy opens up doors that would otherwise be shut. You will gain access to a much larger market that is not open to the general public. Like what? She says coyly, wagging her finger back and forth. That's information only available to our most esteemed clientele. Ha! Now that sounds interesting. It's all pretty vague, but it seems like if they help me formalize my gang, or whatever, they will open up the possibility of purchasing rare items. Since she didn't specify exactly what I can buy, then I wonder if I can get access to things like skill books, hidden skills, or even class-unique items. If I can get access to something that has only half the utility of what my Thief Lord signet ring offers, I'll buy it in a heartbeat. That does sound interesting. What else can you offer? Oh my, you are greedy. Careful, little thief lord. The last person who stuck his fingers in too deeply into my coffers were never heard from again. Her eyes harden. I meet her gaze, trying my best not to flinch under her scrutiny. What is my play here? Something tells me it isn't a good idea to press it too far. One wrong move and I'm certain that she won't hesitate to kill me. I don't like my chances of making a clean escape out of here either. Even if I had to access all my underlings and opening to use the doppelganger, I am about to accept a proposition when she speaks again. I like your determination, little thief lord. Reminds me of me in my youth. We won't offer anything other than the standard 10% discount for all of our members on our regular services. This includes the purchase of contraband, crafting regions, and rent in one of our inns, she says, crossing her arms. Throw in a discount on Odin's services as a teacher, and we'll have yourself a deal, I say, letting out a grin of my own. Odin snorts. Go choke on an apple. I guess that's a no. In that case, I'll accept. Pleasure doing business with you, I say, extending my hand. Splendid, she smiles, grasping my hand. I knew that we could come to an arrangement. I sit back in my chair, trying my best not to burst out laughing at my success, because this is a success, a big one. I can feel it. Whatever gang thing they offer it will really help me with. I just know that the late-game content that I've been looking for, the cherry on top of the proverbial thief cake, the Bonnie to my Clyde. Locking my eyes on Lucilla, I ask, so now that we have that out of the way, how about we get started on starting my gang? What do you need me to do? Quite the impatient one, aren't you, young thief lord? All I need from you is a name and a symbol. We'll take care of the rest. As soon as she stops talking, a window appears in my vision. Form a gang. Since the dawn of civilization, the outcasts have flocked together, unwilling to bow to the conformity of society. It is never easy to go against the majority, and many have fallen to the lonesome path. As one who has risen above others, you will gather your fellow miscreants on your less than righteous path. As one, you will all reap benefits. What is the name of your gang, thief lord? Warning, all choices are final. Oh, that sounds just as ominous as I would expect. I still have very little information, but I really can't picture a big bad thing. It's a good thing that I spend so much time thinking up a theme to name my lieutenants, or else I'd probably be stuck here for hours trying to come up with my name that doesn't sound too retarded. Luckily for me, my imagination also came up with several names to call our little group of snakes. Shadow Serpents, I say with confidence. Odin snorts loudly. Are you kidding me? Shadow Serpents! What are you? 5 years old? He roars with laughter. Oh no, here comes the big scary Shadow Serpents. Mommy, I'm so scared. Hey, frick you too, Gramps. I got your serpent right here. I snap while grabbing my crotch. This happens faster than my brain manages to process what the hell I just said, and my eyes widen as Odin's smirk is wiped off his face. What did you just say to me? He says through clenched teeth. My words are caught to my throat as I do my utmost not to flinch. Curse my big fat mouth. I've spent way too much time only with Cobra as conversation partner. The crude thug has really robbed me of the wrong way. We end up staring at one another, and the only change in our demeanor is the throbbing vein in Odin's forehead that seems to intensify for every second that passes. Our standoff is broken when a chuckle erupts from the most unlikely person around the table. Odin's jaw drops as he watches a smile that has crept onto Joe's face. What the hell is that on your face? The old trapmaker shouts in surprise. I believe that is what you call a smile. Lucilla chimes in from the side. No crap, but what the hell is it doing on his face? Cheeky little bastard, what do you mean on my face? I'm perfectly capable of smiling. Joe grunts, his customary scowl returning with a vengeance. I've known you for 43 years. 40 fricking 3 years. Not once have I seen you smile. Joe growls at the trapmaker. That's because I've had to look at your ugly mug for all that time. Odin seems a little lost for words as he just stares at the grumpy old innkeeper. I must admit, I'm pretty surprised myself, but mostly because I somehow find myself these absurd situations that I'm not equipped to handle. What the frick is wrong with these people? The silence reverberates through the room until Lucilla finally coughs. Shadow Serpents it is then, young thief lord. Do you have any preference for a gang symbol? Choose a gang symbol. Every group of people shares a unique bond with one another. Kings and nobles have their banners, merchants have their signs, and majors have their sigils. A symbol may mean many things, but it usually tells a story for the past and future, the goals and the desires. What represents your gang, Thief Lord? Warning, all choices are final. The message followed up by a second window, a blank canvas with several toolbars along the edges. It appears the game lets me design my symbol by hand from scratch if I so wish. Being artistically impotent person that I am, I quickly opt to discard creating one myself. I know my weakness, and designing things is definitely one of them. I instead look through the options, finding a feature that allows for the AI to generate a symbol for me if I add a few keywords of what I want the symbol to include. Typing in the word snake, gold, and shroud, I wait a few seconds for a long list of potential symbols to appear. I quickly scroll through the list, discarding almost every suggestion the AI makes. It's not that I'm picky, it's just that I don't really want to rush to this one. Who knows what the game decides to do with the symbol? What if it adds the symbol to every piece of gear that they reward me for all eternity? I certainly don't want to be the idiot who is stuck with a branded pink unicorn farting a rainbow for the rest of his in-game career. I eventually find a symbol I'm quite fond of, a snake coiled around a gold coin. I like it. It's simple, stylish, speaks to my dream, and it's ominous looking enough for me to be satisfied to have it as my official symbol. Confirming my choice, the window disappears. Wonderful! That symbol will do nicely. Allow me to be the first to congratulate you, Bryan Hanley, gang leader of the Shadow Serpents. May your future be fortunate for the both of us. Lucilla smiles. Congratulations, you have formed a gang, Shadow Serpents. As the leader of a gang, several new features have become available. Your underlings will now have the appropriate gang name as a part of their status. Your underlings will now wear pendants with a gang symbol embedded on it. Your gang symbol will form on any class-unique items you acquire. Infamy has now been unlocked on your status page. May fortune favor you, Thief Lord. I blink in surprise. Infamy? Does that mean? Oh, hell yeah! Status. Name, Bryan Hanley, Class Thief Lord, masked as a trap maker. Race, Halfling, level 14. Health, 240. Mana, 800. Experience, 450 out of 2,900. Infamy, 0 out of 140. Whoa! Am I seeing this right? Infamy. There is an alternative to renown that nobody knows about. How has this bombshell stayed hidden for so long? Renown is one of the most coveted attributes to increase. It can only be increased through your actions, and only the most valorous actions of defeating powerful bosses or villains grants points in it while performing heinous acts like murder or theft lowers it. Renown is a stat that gives you access to powerful gear and abilities on special markets, and it is required to unlock the best quests and other in-game features like the possibility to purchase land and hire NPCs. Renown is the sole reason players don't go on a murder spree in the NPC settlement they visit, as losing renown could set you back months, possibly even destroy your potential to get any decent quests or join a guild. I've never heard of infamy, but may God smite me if I'm wrong and if this is the villain equivalent of renown. Can regular players also get this? Frick, I don't care. This is amazing. You seem pleased, young Thief Lord. Lucilla muses. Yeah, wipe that stupid smirk off your face. It's creepy as hell. Odin grunts, still scowling from earlier. Yeah, this is freaking amazing. I can't believe I'm the first one to unlock infamy. It's insane. I chuckle, refusing to stop smiling. First one? Lucilla looks at me questioningly. Do you mean the first traveler? If so, I am sorry to disappoint you. You are currently the 6th Thief Lord that we have offered this alliance to in Draenarys alone. Wait, what? 6th? There are more who know about you. Who are they? What are their names and their levels? I blurt out, my stomach dropping. She wags her finger back and forth. That information is confidential. You may only know in which order you formed your gang. You may also want to know that you are currently 136th Thief Lord to form a gang worldwide. You should be proud of this accomplishment. My jaw drops. 136? How the hell can so many people have unlocked the gang system without anything leaking online? What dark sorcery is this? So much of my hopes of finding a hidden game-breaking feature months ahead of anyone else. I guess those sort of lucky events only happen in a crappy book or anime. First of all, there are 5 thief lords in Draenei's alone and have unlocked the gang system. All 5 of them most likely are way more powerful than I am. Could they be my pursuers? It would make sense. A villain hit squad to hunt other villains. This is troubling news. If this many people know about the gang system, God knows how many people know about the sewers. How have I not run into more people down there yet? Crap, another problem for me to overcome. I need to take this into my calculations going forward. I take a deep breath, trying to calm my mind. This isn't too bad, better than when I first started actually. It's scary as crap that I am not the first person to unlock the gang system, but I'm lucky enough to be one of the first, before it becomes common knowledge. When I started playing a Thief Lord, I didn't even expect there to be any Silver Saints organization. I was content with grinding along in the city, only dependent on killing random NPCs in back alleys and performing jobs all day long. Not in the most glamorous of ways to play a game, but I was determined to stick with it. Other people, knowing that this was really changes nothing. Hell, everyone who would have figured it out eventually, and soon as people do, I'm certain that the game will be flooded with villains. It's only a matter of time. The most important thing I need to do is grow my levels and become too powerful to stop. Wait a moment. After the latest PvP patch, if more villains know about the gang system, wouldn't that mean that there would be a ton of fresh villains playing the game? Meaning the amount of potential experience I can farm increases exponentially. Killing low-level villains would be easy. It almost makes me want to spread the information myself. Almost. The noob zone in Draenei is still locked down, meaning fresh villains are nowhere to go. Damn, there goes the opportunity. But maybe I should do it anyway. A flood of new villains could serve as one hell of a big distraction. So many opportunities, I need to think this through. But first of all, I need to focus on the here and now. Turning back towards the trio of saints, I put my game face back on. Could you tell me a bit more about how I gain infamy and what I can use it for? Certainly. As you may have surmised, infamy is the polar opposite of renowned. It is different, however, as the criminal underworld reacts differently to one of their kind. Unlike how a citizen would react to a hero, nobody respects you if you are weak, and your infamy is limited to your personal power. Therefore, if you wish to increase your infamy, you must also grow in levels. A problem I'm certain you won't have any trouble doing. She smiles coyly, giving me a wink. Unlike renown, which is gained by performing heroic acts, infamy is gained by successfully completing jobs and killing powerful named enemies, as well as travelers more powerful than yourself. Since weakness is unacceptable, you will lose half your infamy points if you are to meet an unfortunate end. So, I would advise you to stay very much alive. As to the second question, infamy is required to gain access to our inner market reserved for our most esteemed clientele. To sell you our most powerful artifacts and secrets, we require you to reach a certain level of infamy. So, I would advise you to increase it as quickly as you can. I listened intently to her explanation. So if I understand this right, then infamy is vastly different from renown. Whereas renown can be increased almost infinitely, infamy seems to have a hard level cap related to my own level. Since I am currently level 14, I can only gain a maximum of 140 infamy points before I need to level up. That is incredibly interesting. It slightly worries me that with everything else related to being a villain in this game, the demerits of dying suddenly increase by yet another margin. That shouldn't be a problem for me though, since I don't plan to ever die. I wonder what will get me though. Could I perhaps get a glimpse of what I can buy later? I say, putting on my brightest smile. What part of confidential didn't you understand? Says Odin, crossing his arm. Bugger off. Now, dear Odin, we can afford to give him a peek at the less powerful artifacts we have in store. An act of goodwill, we may say. She winks at me, and a window immediately appears before my eyes. Silver Saints in a market. Hire servants. Hire an NPC servant to perform menial tasks like general maintenance, message delivery, or operate player-owned establishments. Requires 100 infamy per servant hired. Cost 50 gold, upkeep 5 gold per week. Black market auction voucher. Gain access to the black market auction system for 1 month. Requires 100 infamy, costs 10 gold. Hire mercenary team. Hire a team of mercenaries to assist you on a single job or quest. Requires 200 infamy, costs 30 gold. Magic Academy scholarship. Train an agent to gain a mage class. Lesser School of Magic only. Requires 200 infamy, costs 300 gold. Holy mother of Mexico's finest chili cheese balls! Are these items for real? Holy crap, and these prices! Just wow. Several of these items look amazing and I really want them. All of them. And these items are only supposed to be at the bottom of the barrel. I want all of these, all of this and more. Especially the scholarship. I wonder if I can gain access to teaching one of my underlings one of the major schools of magic at some later point. If I can get an access to a healer, I would be unstoppable. The cost, though, 300 gold coins is no joke. I've heard of people complain about DLC before, but this right here takes the cake. That's an entire month's worth of rent. Who the hell can afford that? I could have to sell almost half of everything that I have in my possession to be able to afford it. The potential benefits, though. Oh my, I need to start grinding as soon as possible. These all look amazing, I grinned. And you say there are more? Lucilla just nods, a satisfied smile dancing across her lips. Oh, hell yes. I can feel the excitement bubbling beneath my skin. Then I would like to thank you for your hospitality. This partnership has already paid dividends tenfold on what I expected. I give a deep bow. Now, if you would excuse me, I have some grinding to do. About damn time, Odin grunts. Now bugger off. And if I find you slacking on your training of your profession, I'll find you and snap that stupid smirk off your face. Yes, teacher, I give him a respectful nod. I'm glad that it seems to have partly forgotten about the little altercation earlier. As soon as I stand up from my seat, so does the 3 saints. Joe is the first to turn and leave through the main door, quickly followed by Odin. Lucilla is about to leave after them when I remember something. Oh, Lucilla, one last thing. Do you know what this is? End of chapter. And that, my friends, concludes this batch video. If you enjoy the story, please don't forget to go and show the author some support. And if you wish to support this channel, there are links down below. The easiest way to support this channel would be to subscribe and share as much as possible to help this channel grow. And I'll see you all in the next video, and until then I hope you all keep well and safe. Cheers.